Hi, welcome back to ODE. My name is Paulo, I am from Portugal, as you already know, and today I'm finally reviewing this beautiful pen that I have inside. So, what am I showing you today is this thing, the Pura collection from Leonardo Officina Italiana. So, it comes inside this box with this nice pattern in blue and red. In this center band here it says Pura collection, stilografica lavorata da barra piena, and it is a satin demonstrator. It is the MZ Grande, Momento Zero Grande Pistone, 1.5 milliliters. So, first, let's do it in a decent way. You remove this cardboard sleeve from your cardboard box. So just this sleeve with this pattern all around. Then you have this box. Let me put this aside. It is a black box, very simple, with Leonardo there with a glossy black. Leonardo Officina Italiana, and then the wings that are the logo of Leonardo. Then you take this out and you will have a large black box. And this black box has this kind of fake leathery feel. It is quite big. And inside you will have on the lid Leonardo Officina Italiana and then the logo, and then you have a booklet, the pen, and a ink bottle. And let's just see the instructions. You have here the paper that is the certificate of authenticity, and it shows you the collection and the variations. And you have also this little paper that says made in Italy, and then more than 45 years of experience from father to son, and the contacts for them. Now, inside this box you will have the pen, and you will have also, let me change the light a little bit, and you'll have also a bottle of ink. The bottle of ink may change. Now I have several Leonardo bottles. This is of their new ink collection, and it is a very beautiful ink. And this one is I'm not sure if this one, I don't think this one came with this pen specifically, but that doesn't matter because this is random. This one is the Leonardo Officina Italiana Arancio Tarocco. And this is a beautiful, beautiful, bright, very intense orange. I like some oranges, not all of them, but I like some oranges, and this one is beautiful. It's strong enough, you can read it perfectly from the paper, and it is also very, very nice. And this is the ink, that's why I put this ink here. This is the ink that is inside the pen. So the pen is already inked. Let me take the box away. And it comes inside a plastic sleeve that you throw away into the recycle bin, of course. And then you will have, let me just make some alignment here to have it all perfect. You will have this little thing with the logo of Leonardo. This is a new little piece. And then you have the pen. And so what we are showing here for you today is the Leonardo Officina Italiana, this is the brand, Momento Zero Grande, which is this model, the shape of this pen, it is Momento Zero Grande. And this is from the Pura collection, so it's the Pura Grigio Antracite, which means it is anthracite gray. And it is a very interesting color. It is transparent, translucent, let's call it that way. I will change the light a little bit, and so this is what you get. Now, I bought this pen from Appleboom, and I bought it because I couldn't resist to this pen, and I decided to buy it. It costs there 295 euros, and there is a discount code that you can use, and I will put it down on the video description. So, what I have to say is the Pura collection is based on the Momento Zero Grande design. Where is it? I have here one. This is the Sand that you know already. This is a pen that I really love. It is roughly of the same size and same design, but it has different details, different material, and even different nib. And so that's what we are going to see. I will zoom down or zoom in a little bit. Okay, now we are closer to the pens and you can see them both side by side. If we align them at the bottom, you will see that the Pura is just a little bit bigger than the regular Momento Zero Grande. And that main difference is, let's do it this way. Let's align this and ring there on the turning knob, and you'll see that the pen aligns almost perfectly in this side, but this conical little part of the turning knob is bigger. You find the same here on the cap. So what you have is this typical shape of Leonardo Momento Zero Grande, but just a little bit extended, and we can almost say that this is a little higher, this kind of cone. Another difference that you will see, I don't think I will talk too much about design, about specific design, because I showed you the Momento Zero Grande before, but let's see the specific part, is that the clip on the Pura is higher, a little bit. If we align the tops like this, you can see the clip of the Pura is a little higher than the clip on the Momento Zero Grande. And then, if you align them by the bands, it is even more evident. If you align them by the top of the cap, it's not that visible. So you can see that the caps are a little different, and that's really visible. Then you have the 3 bands or 3 rings on the cap, and then a ring here on the barrel, another ring on the barrel next to the turning knob. And so this is overall the pen. The pen unscrews the cap, and to uncap it, you turn, full turn will be enough to, this will be enough to show the nib, to uncap the pen. The nib is very glossy. It's black. It's not a matte black. It is a glossy black, and it is a number 6 nib. And you have this step down here, as you can see, from the section from the barrel to the section, and then from the section you'll have this little slope that is very strange to the look, but it is very, very comfortable to hold the pen there. That's my opinion. I would not say this is comfortable, if I never used a pen like this before, but yes, it is very comfortable to hold. So, this is the overall. What I think about this pen in a general term is that I think this collection is very interesting. It is very well done, and it is very clever. They changed this collection. They made it with this material, with this frosted satin finish. And what you have here is a pen that is roughly the Momento Zero Grande, but it is available in 3 colors: the blue, which is called Blue Aqua, the orange, which is Arancio Fiammante, and the the Grigio, the grey one, the Grigio Antracite. 3 colors, and each color is available in 3 different trims. It can be in gold trim, silver trim or chrome trim, and ruthenium trim. This is the ruthenium. In this case, the black plating is really glossy. It's not a dark matte one. So I think that makes a nice contrast between these glossy parts and the, let's call it, the dull surface of the material. We are used to see Leonardo pens like this, which are very shiny, very well polished, and this one is completely different. I have also, and I will make a separate review because I think these pens are worth it, although the opinion will be overall the same. I have also the orange version, and you can see that the colors, this is great. This is a great edition. Now, let's go for a couple of details that I think that make the difference. First, as I said, it is very clever to make this collection very simple. 3 pens with 3 different trims, so you have lots of variation with a very simple collection. There is another thing. This is a piston filler, the Momento Zero Grande, and also the Furore Grande is also a piston filler. As you can see in both these pens, there is no way you can know the ink volume you have inside, because there is no ink window and there is no transparency on these barrels. These are opaque resins, and you cannot see what happens inside. This is not a demonstrator, you cannot call it that way. However, it is translucent enough so you can see the inside parts, and there you see some of the ink there, the part of the mechanism. You have that rubber gasket that goes one way and the other, and you can see the orange ink there going around as I turn the pen. So you know if you still have ink inside your pen or not. So this is something quite interesting. However, you can see sometimes more details than you that you'd like to see. That's what you get. Another additional thing is that you can see the seal on the top of the cap, and if there are ink stains here, you may see them much more visible than this. So I would say if you like to see perfect pens, really perfect, maybe this pen may be a source of some stress for you if you like it absolutely clean, because it has transparency, so it gives a little bit more work to keep it perfect. But it is a very beautiful pen. The feeling of this material is very nice. It is frosted, but it doesn't feel like a frosted thing. My opinion about this, you know the feel of the frosted glass, like the glass that is if you go to a lab, on the mouth of the jars and the lid of the glass jars, you have a frosted glass that keeps it closed. And this is kind of the feel of the frosted glass, but not cold. So if I had to describe the feel of this pen, I would describe it as a mix of frosted glass and the surface of the lava Visconti Homo sapiens. That's what I really feel. So this is overall the design stuff. Let me go to maybe 1 or 2 details. One is that the cap has 3 entries to the threads. In one of them, you will see that the Leonardo Officina Italiana, and then there is a serial number. This is a numbered edition, not a special edition or a limited edition, so you can find this pen. It's a regular edition, but it is numbered. And this, in one of the 3 possibilities, it will align perfectly the cap, the cap clip with the engraving on the barrel, and I think this is a very, very interesting feature. Another thing that I see, and I think this is very well done, and I think you can check it, is that the nib, hope you can understand it, the nib, when the engraving is aligned with the clip, the nib is underneath the clip also. So I will keep the pen on the same place, and I unscrew it, and you see the nib is facing towards us and aligned with this same engraving. So I think this is very well done. About some other details, the pen has a Jowo nib. Leonardo changed to Jowo nibs. It is a number 6 nib of that ruthenium. A big difference is that it has the F on the side instead of having, this one has a Bock nib, so the regular nib, the previous nib, and you see the pens are very similar. That one says Leonardo Italy and it has the F beneath. This one says Leonardo Italy, all below the logo. The logo on the Bock nib is higher, here it is a little bit lower, and then there is the F there, and in this one the F is, like, how can I show it to you? The F is there on the side of the nib. So the nib is a little different, the shape is just a little bit different, but you still have ebonite feed, which is an amazing thing for ink flow. The pen will take, it is a piston filler, as I told you, the piston is activated here, you can see the inside components, and it takes 1.5 milliliters of ink, the same that you have on the Momento Zero Grande, regular, and on the Furore Grande. All take 1.5 milliliters, which is a huge amount of ink in my opinion, and you see, this is an amazing, let me put this one also here, this is an amazing pen, very, very beautiful. Now let's just go for some size comparison and show it how it writes. And you saw the size comparison with the Momento Zero Grande and the Furore Grande. And now I have here the pens that I usually compare my pens with, and we have the Parker Centennial Low Fold in black, classic black. This one is still available, I will put below a link for it also. And the Lamy Safari All Black, or is this the Umbra? I think this is the Umbra. And you see the comparison. This one is not, clearly it is not black. It may seem like, if you want to have a black pen, if this goes into a black pen collection, it is not out of place, but it is not black. It is a dark gray, it is beautiful like that. And it is bigger than the Duofold and then the Lamy Safari. And when you uncap the pens, you will have, let me align them to the end of the section. This is what you get. The Leonardo is the longest one, even the nib is a little bit longer than the nib on the Parker. And the Lamy has a longer body, but it has a much smaller nib. So this is what I wanted to show you. Another thing, this is, I think this ruthenium is a PVD coating, so it is very shiny. And if you compare it to this Lamy nib, you can see that Lamy nib is much less shiny than the nib on the Leonardo. And so let's go for the writing sample. And here we have the pen and the paper, and let's see how it performs. I really love this pen. I'm not sure if I can perfectly show it under this artificial light, but it is very, very beautiful. It is so beautiful that I bought it from Apubu. And so this is the Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento 0 Grande Pura Grigio Antracite, and it has a fine steel nib. It is available in some other nib sizes, and you'll see here it is available in extra fine, fine, medium, broad and stub, and it is available both in steel and gold. So this will be more expensive if it is in gold, of course. I forgot this. If you can write perfectly with it because it's a big pen, as I showed you before, and if you want you can post the pen and you can easily use it posted. It becomes too long in my opinion, but it doesn't become top heavy, so it is not a problem that way, but it is too long to be nice to write with. I don't think that this camera will ever do justice to this beautiful orange. The ink is the Leonardo Arancio Tarocco, and the paper is the usual Rhodia .pad, and this is how this pen writes. Okay, so what I wrote here is this pen writes really well with some feedback. Yes, there is some feedback in the writing with this pen, and I think that's something that is common to pens with black plated nibs. I always find that. I find also that this nib is a little stiff, and if you may try to press it to have some line variation, but you are really pressing too hard to be comfortable, so I wouldn't do that, and that way it is kind of a stiff nib. I think that these JoWo nibs are stiffer than the Bock nibs, but about ink flow I think it's perfect. I have nothing to say about it. So this will be the normal writing. It writes really well. If you want to try with the reverse side of the nib, you can do it. I would say it has even less feedback than the regular part, but you have a finer line, and I think that's the only reason why you should use it the other way. About the line variation, as I told you, you can't have much. Natural line variation, there is not much. I think this is quite a round point. You don't see the vertical or the horizontal strokes to be wider than the other. And about the wetness of the nib, I would say this is quite wet for a fine nib. But I think that what really makes difference here is the ebonite feed. I was not very much into ebonite feeds. I didn't know much about them. I have some on some vintage pens, but one thing is to see the vintage feeds on vintage pens, and you don't have the right comparison between one and another, because sometimes there was a model with ebonite feed and another model with plastic feed. But now that I used pens sometimes of the same brand, at least the same nib brand, same nib size, one has ebonite feed, the other one has plastic feed, I would say that most of the times the ebonite feed is much wetter, and I can say that the pen holds better against very fast writing, and it can keep the ink flow going. So I would say this is a very nice feature, and I would even say that I think all the brands, I know it's not that simple, but I think all the brands should go with ebonite feed. What I feel is that ebonite will have more ink over it, and so it will keep the nib writing for longer. Anyway, this is a pen that has a large filling system, large ink capacity. You'll have lots of ink inside, has a beautiful shiny nib, all black. There is something that some people say may be a design problem, is that it has a ring here, and these rings sometimes corrode with ink. I have to say that my oldest pen of this type was I still have it. It is the Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero Grande Black Dark Hawaii, and it has the older piston type. It has this steel ring there, and Mr. Salvatore Matrone from Leonardo, he told me that it would not rust because it is very good stainless steel material that is coated. And I have to say that I've been using that pen for a long time, and there is no oxidation on that ring. So no corrosion or anything. So I think that's really true, and it is resistant, but I have found that problem in some other pens, not with Leonardo. So this is my overview of this pen. I think I already took too long. If you never tried the Leonardo, please don't be afraid of this strange shape for what kind of shape you are used. Let's say that you are more used to a section of this type, but I have to say that a section with this design is very comfortable to use, although you may think the opposite when you first look at the pen. So if you think about getting this pen and if you just have doubts about the shape or the ergonomics of the section, don't keep yourself from buying it just because of that. Are these pens inexpensive? No, they are not. They are more on the expensive side. Is this pen worth it? I would say yes. Really, is any pen worth this kind of money? Maybe you could say, no, I'll never pay more than 15 euros for a pen, and I can understand that, but is this worth it? I think for the nice touch with material, the nice details, I think it is. And I think it is worth it, and that's why I bought one with my own money. I didn't wait for Leonardo to send me the pen for review or anything. I just went and bought this one for me. So for me, yes, it is worth the almost 300 euros. And then I got also this one from Leonardo, from Mr. Salvatore for review. This one I got for free, but this one I bought it, and that I want to say that if you ask me, if you knew that Salvatore was going to send you this one, would you buy another? Yes, I would. I would, because I like it. So I really have to say this. This is a kind of pen that I really like. I think it's really stylish, and this is the kind of pen for me. So I'm really happy with this. So this is all I had to show you. I hope you enjoyed this, again, long review, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.